Paul, I mean, you come to a difficult place. They've made this, an awkward place to play. Most League Two grounds are awkward to play at, and certainly the last part of that game took them to the sword a little bit. Put to the sword.
Yeah, I thought for large parts of it we were in the ascendancy. I just didn't think we were crisp enough in the final third, and we had a couple of chances. And second half we had loads where it felt like. There's one where I felt like we tackled ourselves. John and Gills managed to mess it up. But generally really pleased with the performance. Limited a good team. I think, last 5 or 6 games they're in the top 3 for form, so I appreciate how hard it is, and I know how well Darrell's teams are coached and motivated. So I knew it was tough. So the second goal obviously allows you to breathe, and then, the last 2 goals probably put an extra bit of sugar on it, but it's good for the lads, it's good for their confidence, and off the back of beating Gillingham last week, it was a really good performance. So there's a lot of pleasing parts to it, and it felt like keep saying to the lads, look, every team's going to get set pieces against you, every single team, and there was a few which I would regard as light free kicks we gave away, and then they're putting it in your box. So the way the lads defended them and the way Craig came and took the pressure off them loads, that's as big a contributor to the win as the actual goals.
And a fast start again. I mean, last week we talked about the early goal. Obviously, you've had games in the last month or so where you went through a bit of a run of conceding first and maybe giving the initiative away, but getting that early goal, especially anywhere, but away from home, is quietens everything down and is important.
Yeah, and prior to that we had a really good chance prior to that, and then we got it. We like crosses, I love crosses, so we're always asking to put the ball in the box. And then I think after we scored, weirdly, we sort of went away from it. We overcomplicated a little bit, and then we rejigged it at half time. And I thought second half, apart from like a 5 or 10 minute bit where the fans got behind them, I don't think we had much to deal with. I just think we just needed that second goal. And like I said, to finish off as comfortable as that in front of our fans is as good as it gets away from home.
Lawrence Maguire's goal. I mean, last week he had it taken off him, I think, didn't he?
Did he have it taken off him?
I think he did.
Yeah, it was
given a known goal.
Wow,
So
I'm going to have to take his picture, goal scoring wall picture off and then put it back on again. Oh no, because it was in his home kit last week, so it'll be away kit this week, yeah. So, he reckons it's his because
right.
I'd like to think it's his, because if you knee slide in front of your fans and it isn't yours, that's a fine.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you now, I'm going to fine him if it isn't his goal. So if he has the displeasure of having it taken off him, and then the manager's saying you need to come to my office and bring your wallet, then it's a problem. So, but his performance was really good. I thought the back three were excellent. Marv, anytime there was trouble, mopped it up, and I thought Offie just brings us a real calm. And so I'm really pleased with them as a back line, because it's been a while since we've had a clean sheet. I think it was back to Cheltenham, maybe, I'm not sure. So it's a right boost for everyone.
I'm going to go through every goal now, because the third goal, that looked training ground, and Liam Kelly and Alex Gilby certainly were very, very pleased with each other about that goal.
There's a lot of work goes on in set pieces. I can't take any credit. It's Tom Magoli, coach, who does the free kicks. He sees weaknesses and tries to exploit them. And as I'm saying that, he's doing his prostate cancer run around the pitch. He didn't do it this morning like the rest of us, so he is struggling. In a minute I'll shout at him to say, look, we've got to go in a minute and see if it picks his pace up. But he worked on a free kick and it was a great finish. Really pleased. Tom! He's running well, isn't he? So, that was that. What was the other goal? Good counter-attack from Lex and Rush. Pleased for Rush, because it looks an easy finish, but as the ball's coming to you, it's one of them, if you miss, you should never miss. And if you score, everyone goes, well, you should score, and it isn't like that. So, really pleased for him. Goal scorers should be well happy.
You're getting 1 or 2 back as well. Obviously, Jack Sanders was on the bench. Hepburn Murphy came off the bench. So, I think from 9, which I think there was probably missing a couple of weeks ago, it's now down to maybe 3, 4, 5 even, whatever.
Yeah, it did feel like a proper squad today. I could have made any change at any time, which is a joy. I know Aaron and Geth were both on the grass this week, but still a long way off. Obviously Scotty's out at the moment as well. Who else is out missing? I don't feel like we've got a lot out now, which is good. And like there's like today, I could have easily made changes, but I didn't think anyone was underperforming. So, I apologise to the subs after, saying, look, if I could give you more time, but that's how football is. If you get the shirt, you have to try and keep hold of it. And competition for places is always a good thing. And I thought from start to finish, from the week, the lads have trained brilliantly. Yesterday they trained the best I've ever seen them train. Today they kept the ball the best I've ever seen them keep it in the warm-up. However, that doesn't mean you've got to win a game. So that's the nice icing on the cake. So we can have a nice journey back up north.
Yeah.
Is it back up north?
Yeah, it is.
Back up east. Back up east.
Northeast.
Northeast is probably the best way.
Yeah.
Back up north for me, though.
Yeah.
Northeast and a lot of north.
Were you thinking about making subs before? Because when we 1-0 up, and everybody makes subs every game practically, were you thinking, oh, I could 70 minutes, I could just put someone on, but actually,
there's not much wrong. It's a weird one. I mean, if I was a fan, I'd be going, well, you might as well make a change, freshen it up. But then sometimes you do that, and the person who comes on takes 5 minutes to get into the game, and then it makes defending set piece a bit more awkward because you give out instructions. And in fairness, I was considering, I thought Gilbs cramped up a little bit, so we're going to have a look at Gilbs, and then I thought the front two could do with freshening up, but then as you're thinking of doing it, then something amazing happens, you're thinking, look, I'm just changing it for changing's sake. So if there's no need to, I won't, but I did consider it, you'd be surprised to know, from about 60 minutes onwards, and they kept making changes, but to try and get back into it, but it felt like we had pretty reasonable control, so it didn't feel like a game that I needed to, force something unnecessarily.
how much does it please you that 2 weeks ago against Shrewsbury, 2-0 seemingly in control, concede? Last week 3-0 seemingly in control, concede, and then concede again. And obviously today, not only did you keep a clean sheet, but you've taken it away from them in the end, and it's been a very convincing scoreline.
Yeah, really pleased. I said to the physio in the 93rd minute, he shouted for appeal for something. I said, like, even I think we're going to win at 4-0 with a minute left, so even I don't panic, and it's good for my anxiety levels if the lads don't concede. But yeah, it's a lot crisper way to win. Obviously, there's less for us to pick out. However, I do know on another day, one of them set pieces goes in, Ellison gets blocked and gets a free header from 5 yards out. That goes in, the game takes a different route. So at no point do I think we've got everything sussed, but the lads have got to be really proud how they applied themselves to the final whistle. That's how I want my teams to be, and I want my teams to be able to run over teams at the end. And if you're bringing on, proper players like we are, we're very fortunate. We just got to turn good performances into points, and away from home we've been, really good.
It's probably still too early, but do you look at the league table? I know manager after manager we've spoken to over the years, guess now. Even in March, April time, what do you?
Well, they're absolutely lying, because why wouldn't you look at the league table? It's ridiculous. If the chairman phones me and goes, Paul, it's great, we're in 18th, I'll be like, oh, 18th, that's where we are. You have to know where you are. In fairness, as I walked off, I asked the coach, and because they've all got their phones on them, I said, where's that put us? Because the results seem to be going quite well at times. And I thought we were third, and then I think Gillingham equalised. So it's nice to go in as a manager, because I always want the information. If I can go, look lads, well done, 1-4-0. By the way, you're third, congrats. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. But there's a long way to go. But yeah, I look at the league. I just don't think the league takes its actual shape until after 10 games. That's what I think. So prior to that, I still look at it, but I don't take much. As I said to the lads after 6 games, that these are 3 teams that got promoted last season out of this league. None of them were in the top 5 after 6 games. So you just got to try and get a rhythm. And like today, no injuries, a good win. It just allows us to get rhythm, hopefully, going to the next game.
Yeah, 3 in a row. That's good. Good,
tasty.
Yeah,
tasty.
Happy with that,
and in fairness, if you're going to achieve anything, you need good runs of form. And at the moment, we've fortunately been on the right side of results. So the more times I can write big W's on my tactics board before we come out, the better. And I asked the lads before the game, look, there's 2 on the spin, can you get 3? Can you get 4? Because I expect you to. So they backed it up today, and you're obviously fortuitous in certain times of the game, but I also think you earn it. And I thought the lads done enough to earn a win today.
Thank you.
Quick word for John Mellish, I thought was brilliant out there, and I mean, he led the cheers at the end somewhat reluctantly. He had to be forced out there by his teammates.
He scored a wonder goal in training yesterday, an absolute diving header from about 20 yards out, so he was on the lads' radar, so it doesn't surprise me that they forced him to celebrate, and it doesn't surprise me that he was uncomfortable with it. Yeah, he put some good balls in. My only frustration with John today was, because not everything could be perfect, he had a chance first half to put it in, but in the end, Will comes over and they're trying to pick another pass out, and sometimes I think we overcomplicate it. If it's an opportunity to cross it, we should flood the box. But apart from that, he was pretty faultless, and he was a bit of a thorn in their side late on. And he's a strong kid, stronger than my goalie coach, who looks like he's struggling big time. Yeah, he's a strong kid, and defensively I thought he was solid as well, and that's what you need. As wing backs, you need good engines, and like Aaron was excellent down the right. So we're lucky there that while Gethin and Kane are out, and Joe, although Joe's close to being involved again, we're lucky that those two are fit kids.
You mentioned on Thursday, 3 wins in a row starts to separate the wheat from the chaff. What does 4 in a row do? Does that sort of cement you as one of the big boys in this division? Should you get 4?
Yeah. I mean, you just got to win games, don't you? I'm not trying to make it sound any more complicated than anybody else. If you win games, it just builds confidence. The more games you win, then all of a sudden, whoever we play next week or the week after, if you won 4 on the spin, 3 on the spin, it just puts that little element of doubt into the opposition, possibly, and it just gives confidence to the lads. And I always think that football is like 90% psychology, 10% physical. It's your brain that makes you run, it's your brain that makes you attack the box, it's the brain that makes you shoot. And if you're in a confident vein of form, you normally make better choices. So that's why back-to-back wins breeds confidence in the group, and it allows us to, say to the lads, like, if you take this information on, you've got a good chance to win games. So it's good for the coaches and everybody at the football club. I'm just pleased for everybody who came today. The owner was here today. I mean, he had the biggest commute, in fairness, from Kuwait, but so it's just nice that we put on a performance like worthy of our players. Really, I haven't come away and thought, well, I didn't see that coming, or they've trained excellent this week, and I really felt that they had the bit between their teeth. So they can thoroughly deserve it.